If you guys want to win a copy of FIFA 18 on any console of your choice, all you need to do is leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below in the comment section, and subscribe to my channel, turning on notifications. Do those 4 things, that'll enter you into the giveaway, and I'll be announcing the winner shortly before the release of FIFA 18 in September. Best of luck, and let's go on into the video. Hey guys, it's Way here, and welcome back to another FIFA 18 Ultimate Team video, and today we're going to be taking a look at some players who weren't on FIFA 17, but are going to be on FIFA 18 Ultimate Team. So new players to FIFA 18, and we've got a wide variety of different players. Players who've just broken into their first teams who were previously not really playing and were in their youth academies on FIFA 17, people who are free agents and weren't actually playing for a club on FIFA 17, and also players who are playing in leagues that weren't actually on FIFA 17 like the Chinese league. So I've got a wide variety of different players, some gold, silvers and bronze cards, playing for a lot of different clubs. A lot of these players do play for top European teams, so they will actually be quite usable on the next FIFA, but I'm sure there's lots of players I've missed out on. So if there is a player playing for your club who wasn't on FIFA 17, let me know in the comments down below, and if they are going to be added onto FIFA 18, I can feature them maybe in a part 2 to this video here. But I hope you guys do enjoy. Leave a like if you do want to see more content like this on my channel, and with a FIFA 18 demo coming out on Tuesday, let me know what sort of videos you'd like me to do on the demo. Do you want me to stream it? Do you want me to maybe do videos on tutorials, on things that are overpowered on the game, anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's go on into the video. So first up, we've got Barcelona's £40 million signing Paulinho. Now he was previously playing in the Chinese league, which obviously wasn't on FIFA 17, and for that reason he wasn't on the game, so he's a new player to FIFA 18. He was actually on FIFA 14 when he used to play for Tottenham, and he was an 81 rated player back then. I've given him an 80 rating now, and he is going to have some very nice stats. A very well-rounded card. He's most likely going to have over 70 in every single stat, and if he does pick up a few informs along the way playing for Barcelona, he could end up having a very good card, potentially with over 80 in every single stat towards the end of the game. And I reckon he's probably going to be quite a cheap player towards the beginning of FIFA 18 as well, around 10,000 coins, so which is pretty decent for a player with those stats, and I reckon he's actually going to be a decent player to use on FIFA 18. Next up, we've got Caseros. Now if you guys played FIFA 14 or FIFA 15, I'm sure a lot of you will remember just how overpowered this guy was. When he was playing for Juventus, he had over 80 pace, and you could partner him and Woodburn up together, or him and Chiellini or Barzagli, or any of the great centre-backs playing for Juventus, and you would have yourself a very solid centre-back partnership. Now he was actually a free agent on both FIFA 16 and FIFA 17. He did actually go to Southampton for a small part of FIFA 17, but he wasn't actually added into the game. But he has now gone to Hellas Verona in the Serie A, so you're going to be able to link him up to loads of good players in that league. Now because he was a free agent for a few years and wasn't playing too many games, I don't really think he's going to have as good a card as he used to, so he is probably going to receive a slight downgrade. He was around 80 or 81 rated on the last FIFA he was on, and I think he's going to go down to around a 77, maybe 78 rating, but he is still going to have some very nice stats, decent pace, he's going to be quite tall, he's going to have good work rates, and he's going to have solid defending and physical, and I think he's going to be very cheap as well, and he's going to be a great player to use in Serie A stars teams on the new FIFA. Moving down to the silver category, we start off with Diaz. Now this guy was one of Lyon's key defenders last year. He played around 2,000 minutes for them in the league, which for a player who wasn't on the game is pretty crazy. I'm really not too sure why he wasn't on the game, considering he was a key part of their defence. And with Nkulu leaving to Torino in the transfer window a couple of weeks ago, this guy is going to be starting even more games next season and could definitely receive a nice upgrade. I think he's probably going to get either a high rated silver card or low rated gold card on the new FIFA, and if he does keep up his current form, he could easily get a winter upgrade as well, and he is going to have a decent card, very good physical, good defending and decent pace as well, and you're going to be able to get hyperlinks to people like Yanga and Biwa and plenty of the other great French players playing in not only the Liga but also for Lyon. Another great looking silver card playing in the Ligue 1 is Nkunku. Now this guy played around 1,500 minutes last season in the Ligue 1 for PSG, and just like with Diaz, that is a lot of game time for someone who wasn't on the game. I'm not too sure why exactly he wasn't on FIFA 17. I think he is quite a young player, so potentially he was called up from the youth team and just wasn't really a key part of their team when FIFA 17 came out, so for that reason wasn't added to the database, but he is very likely to be added into FIFA 18 as he is obviously playing quite a lot of games now in their first team. Actually watched PSG play a couple of days ago. They were playing with Neymar, Mbappe, a lot of their new signings, but Nkunku did actually come on in the second half and he looked like a decent player, and I think he's going to receive quite a high rated silver card with some very nice well-rounded stats. If he does keep up his current form and does maybe get a starting place in the team, you never know, he could actually move up to a low rated gold card, especially with the winter upgrade. And with Matuidi leaving, he's left a spot in the midfield for Nkunku to potentially step up, and he does look like he could have a very good card on the game, very nice well-rounded stats, and he did actually score a fair few goals last season. I believe 6 or 7 from a centre mid position is what he did score, which is not too bad at all. And as you guys can see, he's got a decent looking card, and he could even even receive a nicer upgrade to a gold card on the new FIFA. Next up is the in-demand English left-back from Fulham, Ryan Sessegnon. Manchester City and Tottenham were both trying to sign him amongst quite a few other Premier League teams, and Fulham actually rejected a £25 million bid for him during the last transfer window. Now, he's a very, very young player, and I think he's got a lot of potential, but I've given him a 70 rated card on FIFA 18 with some decent stats, very good pace, and decent stats both defensively and going forwards. And because he's a young player, same with a lot of other players in this video, if he does keep up his current form and develops more in the future, he could receive a massive upgrade, potentially with the winter upgrades, or potentially on FIFA 19. You never know, this guy could keep up his form right now, get a team of the season card, and maybe become a low rated gold card on FIFA 19. You never know, but he looks like he's got a lot of potential. He is a very young player, and he looks like he's going to get a low rated silver card on the new FIFA. Next up is another young player with a huge amount of potential, and it is Keane, playing for Juventus. This guy, I believe, is the youngest ever player to make an appearance in the Champions League. He was only 17 when he came on as a substitute for Juventus, which is my age, and he's playing in the Champions League for Juventus, which is crazy if you think about it. Now, I think he was also playing quite a few games in the Serie A as well. He was coming on as a substitute late on in games because obviously he's not going to be starting ahead of the likes of Higuain and Dybala right now, but he looks to be a player with a lot of potential, and I've given him quite a low rated silver card on the new FIFA. He didn't really start too many games at all. I'm not even sure if he started any games last season, but he did come off the bench a few times, so I'm not sure. Maybe he could get a bronze card, maybe a silver card, but he is going to have some decent stats, decent pace, decent dribbling. From what I've heard, he is a very good dribbler, looks very good on the ball, but he didn't score too many goals as he did only play a few minutes as he came on as a substitute, so I've not given him the highest of shooting or the best of stats overall. But let me know in the comments down below. I haven't really watched a lot of the players in this video. I'm mainly basing it off stats that I've seen and the ratings other people seem to think they should have. Let me know though in the comments down below, what rating should Keane get on FIFA 18. The final silver player is Ben Woodburn. This guy scored an unbelievable goal on his Wales debut. He's only 17 years old, just like Keane, the same age as me, but he's scoring bangers from 20 yards out on his debut for his country, and I'm recording YouTube videos in my room. But this guy actually plays for Liverpool as well. I'm not sure if he's actually played any games in the league for them or if he started many games for them at all, but I expect he is probably going to play a fair few games for them in the future as he is very, very young. I believe he is actually English, but he chose to play for Wales, or he had the option to play for England anyway, but he has decided to go ahead and play for Wales, and as I said, did score a very, very good goal on his debut, which I'm sure a lot of you guys will have seen. Now, I have given him a very low rated silver card. He could potentially get a slightly higher rated silver card. He could potentially get a bronze card just because he hasn't played too many games for Liverpool, but he has obviously played for his country. I've given him a decent card. Again, it's hard to base what the stats he's going to have really on because he's not played that many games, and he wasn't obviously on FIFA 17, so there's not something to base his stats against, but I think he's going to get a low rated silver card or high rated bronze card on FIFA 18. But if you guys have any different ideas, let me know in the comments down below. To finish off the video, we've got two bronze English players, one of whom plays for Manchester City and one of whom used to play for Man City. Now, the first one is Jayden Sancho. He moved to Borussia Dortmund from Man City for a fee of around £5 million in the last transfer window, and although he hasn't actually played a full professional game yet for Manchester City or Dortmund, he is meant to be one of the best young talents in world football right now, only 17 years old, and a lot of people think he is going to be one of the best players in the future for the England national team. He was very good for all of the youth teams for England. He scored a lot of goals for the England under 17 and 18 teams, and also he scored a lot of goals for Manchester City's under 23 and under 18 teams. Now, I expect he is going to be very good in the future. He didn't really have the best of attitudes though for Manchester City. He refused to train because he didn't really think he'd be able to get a place in the starting lineup for City, even though he was called up to the first team at the beginning of the season, as well as Brahim Diaz and Foden. Now, I think he is probably going to get a bit of game time at Dortmund, more than he would get at Manchester City. They brought him in as a replacement for Dembele, but with Pulisic and Schürrle and Royce on the wings, it's going to be tough for him to start, but you never know. It is cool to see an English player playing abroad, especially for a big club like Borussia Dortmund, but I've given him a 64 rated silver card. It is hard to say because he hasn't actually played a professional game yet for Manchester City's first team or England's first team, but he is meant to be very, very good. I've seen quite a few of his highlights, and I've given him a high rated bronze card on the next FIFA. I think it could potentially be a little bit lower just because he hasn't played those first team games yet, but he is going to have a nice card with some really good dribbling and good pace stats. Finally, we've got Phil Foden. Now, as I said a couple of minutes ago, both Phil Foden and Jayden Sancho, as well as Brahim Diaz, were all called up at the beginning of the season to City's first team to be coached by Guardiola, as last season they were probably the three best players in City's youth setup. Now, as of right now, Jayden Sancho hasn't played any first team football for either Dortmund, England or Manchester City. Now, Phil Foden has actually played a few games for City's first team. He was very good on his debut in his first ever professional match against Man United, he was City's best player, and there was a lot of hype about him then. After that, he did play a few other games coming on as a substitute, and he is actually on the bench for the majority of City's games in the league, and I do expect him to make a few appearances in the league and probably make a few appearances in the FA Cup and League Cup as well. Now, he looks to have a lot of potential. He is a number 10, an attacking midfielder or a centre mid. He plays in both those positions, and he does look to be a very good player. I've seen quite a few of his highlights, and his range of passing is very good, his dribbling is great, and in the future could potentially be a very good player. He's only 17 years old, but unlike Jayden Sancho, he has actually played first team football, so I think he definitely deserves to have quite a high rated bronze card. Not going to give him a silver card just because he hasn't really played too many games yet, but I'm not sure. Jayden Sancho is apparently the better player according to a lot of the media, but he hasn't actually played any first team games yet, so I've decided to give them both the same rating. But you never know, Phil Foden could play a few games this season, could play very well, and potentially could receive an upgrade with the winter upgrades. And as I said, Brahim Diaz earlier on, he was actually on FIFA 17, so he's probably going to be on FIFA 18 with a slightly upgraded card. He got a 64 rated bronze card at the beginning of FIFA 17, and he'd played a couple of games just like Foden, so I think he is probably going to receive a similar card there, and Brahim Diaz will probably get a low rated silver card, as he was actually very good in pre-season, scored against Tottenham, scored against Real Madrid, and he did actually play quite a few games in pre-season as well, and just like Foden, is often on the bench for the first team. But there we go, those are all the players in today's video. I'm sure there's lots of players that I have missed out on that play for your club that I wouldn't have heard about yet, but if you guys do want to let me know in the comments down below, feel free, and I may be able to include them in a part 2. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you do want to get any cheap football shirts like some of the ones you can see in the background. Go and check out myfootballfactory.com. There's a link down below in the description. Use the discount code E2A at checkout for an extra 10% off. You can get football shirts for just £25. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.